I wanted to be a rapper so bad. I wanted to make like a rap album, like that rap albums I loved.
He's just a rascal. He's just a rascal. He's just a rascal. Dizzee Rascal.
What's up, darling? I've been keeping my eye on your movement. I can't see no room for improvement.
I can tell you've been heavily criticised in the past, and it's bothering you.
The truth is, I'd rather just not even talk about any of this bollocks ever. But for some reason, people just really care about it.
Think you know where you say that's for. Some banging at you go, what for?
What did you learn from that experience generally?
Don't get stabbed. It hurts.
Yeah, you've talked about like some of these shows where people would like let off gunshots in the air and shit like
There's
that.
been times we've been there and people have just been murdered. Everything around it opened my eyes to like a world that was always there, but I didn't really know that much about it.
I wake up every day is a daydream. Everything in my life ain't what it seems. I wake up just to go back to sleep. I act real shallow, but I'm in too deep.
I say I'm gonna fucking kill you. I say one day you're gonna push me too far and I'm gonna kill you.
So you're familiar with KSI and stuff like that then?
Yeah, from when you got a record deal, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, it sounds the same. I was like, what? Like, because it took me a minute to get. I missed the whole
YouTube
gamers thing. People watching people play games. Like,
actually, his new record On Point is actually like the best YouTuber song I think that's been made so far. Like
they got their own category.
Like
YouTube
rap.
Because these guys are like entertainers and stuff, you can't hold them to the same standards as a person who just raps all day every day. They're making videos with fighters, they're doing all sorts of shit. But that was a hell of a song. I actually like that.
Yo, his whole everything he's doing, I just got like so much respect for it. I just the boxing gave me more respect for it.
Yeah.
Because when I really started going in like and training and all that, a lot of it's to keep you out of trouble or like see like him. He got a shitload of money basically. He did well, did really well. He could have just messed around.
Yeah.
Been drinking, smoking weed all day, or got in with.
What I would have done, to be honest.
Yeah, like we've all done it at some point, innit? But
but no, he's like, that's what I was trying to explain to, like, because I talked to some pro fighters and I've interviewed a lot of UFC fighters, and I was like, he doesn't have to get in and fight for anything, like, and he's still doing it. Like, to me, that's almost as equally as commendable because he's got a lot more to lose. He's starting with a lot to lose. Whereas when
to be fair, he's got nothing to lose.
But if he gets knocked out, spot clean out, and he's like the cocky, arrogant, funny YouTuber, like his brand is changed forever. Then he can't be like Mr.
I don't feel like anyone see him as like some sort of hard man wearing matter anyway. Like he's a bit cocky. People would probably enjoy seeing him get knocked out and then he come back. Like, I don't feel like he'd have like. It feels like a rapper was going on like he was tough.
So if a rapper called you out, would you say yes? Like if you know, like
I've sparred with some rappers, like in the thing, but just like I don't know. Just
what was that like? Who did you spar?
Who's the best spar?
Who's the best spar? Sparred with Temper T once.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised how many boxers how many rappers can. I know obviously Bugsy Malone, he can box.
Yeah, he sparred with Fair KSI.
I watched that. I've been keeping up with it.
That looked quite even.
I reckon it was like he probably hasn't been in his training as much, but if it came down to it, I think like.
You reckon he was holding back a little bit?
I think a little bit. Like, I think I've seen like
Bugsy's quite built, like.
He's got heart. He's from the roads. Like, like if he wanted to really, but I think he's got manners. I've met him. I think he's got a lot of manners. Who else? Thingy used to box. What's his name?
50 Cent was a boxer before.
Really?
Yeah, before Get Rich.
But from here, Meridian Dan.
Oh really?
There's a few.
That makes sense. He looks like a boxer as well. Yeah, he's got that kind of face.
He's another good dude as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are we rolling, everyone?
Yeah, I'm good.
Are we going?
We are going.
What was I saying? But anyway, but I respect the discipline that goes. That's why I love boxing, and that's why I love being around boxing. The discipline, you know what I mean? So for KSI to do that and put himself through that's a lot. Obviously not to the same standard as them, but even just, and it's very entertaining. Got all the top boxers involved in that. It's wicked. I think he's a wicked role model for kids. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
I agree.
Like, because he's got kids.
So professional boxers were having a go about this, saying like I think some of them were a bit like, I guess if you work your arse off to get in the position to fill a 20,000 arena, and then these kids go second fight, all right, Manchester Arena, they did like 800,000 buys, which is more than most UFCs. All right, it was cheaper than the UFC, but still the points made. It huffed a few of them, but I think boxing hasn't been getting that young audience for years. Like UFC has dominated that, and it's like they're actually getting more kids involved in boxing than any boxing, even Anthony Joshua.
I think the industry sort of realised what they were doing wrong was who they were appealing to with some of the wrong people in boxing. Like the money people, there is so much money, but you can tell some of the boxers who got outraged about it just want eyes on them and the attention rather than the adulation in the ring. But
they're any decent level boxer. Even I know dudes amateurs, the training they put themselves through.
Oh, yeah.
So if you see someone coming who plays computer games for a living, come in and fucking can fill up like big arenas and that, it's gonna.
Well, for me, it's pissed off when. So
when you got a record deal,
yeah.
Like, yeah, what the fuck's this about? Like, of course, yeah. Like, what do you mean?
Like, literally.
And then I had to understand why. Like, the
audience is there, innit?
Like, the world's changed. Oh shit! All right, let me just get with the world then, because that's what it is.
It's adapt or die, isn't it?
They're buying. Yeah, exactly. In anything. So they're just like now. Like you got this whole little setup there. Back in the day, I would have been going on some talk show or something. Nah, it's a lot more.
We're bigger than TV now.
Right.
That's
just
life.
saying it.
This is the new Graham Norton.
Fuck Jonathan Ross, right?
J-Dog.
And you have actually. Yeah.
But nah, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at him like, right, is he? Like I'm trying to think of another entrepreneurial kind of mogul entertainer from the past to kind of compare him to. That's how I'm looking at him as an inspiration. It's mad.
It feels like we're seeing YouTubers now. Like it's a lot like the music game. Like when people like JayZ came out and all of a sudden Rockaway happened and all these other things, they're branching out. Like YouTubers are doing the same thing. They're getting their own clothing lines. They're just
everything.
It's like a tree. It's just growing.
But the boxing was with music. Fair enough. Like because everyone. Well, not everyone, but like loads of people want to rap or
and they
make
feel
music
like
and all that.
Everyone can do a bit karaoke.
But I never saw the boxing thing coming. I never saw that coming, and then to make it, and I like it because it just goes to show anyone, if you put the training in, could do some decent boxing, and learn to fight.
For me, it's interesting as well because a lot of people didn't think about how many people get interested in boxing and then suddenly get into the mainstream part of it. And it's the same for when he started rapping and stuff. I imagine there are a load of teenagers who are like, oh, I never thought I'd listen to that, but now KSI's doing it, and then they'll get into it because there's suggested songs down the side from people like you or
right. And
other
anyone
artists.
should be able to make music.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, if you feel like you're the guy, then you might have a problem with it, but that's your problem. It's like I said, this is how the world is now. That's it.
So actually, I haven't really started the podcast.
Can we do an intro?
Yeah.
So, yeah, when you start a podcast, like it's all well and good having interesting interviews, but in an ideal world, you want to have the people you grew up listening to. So
but we got second best, so we got Dizzee Rascal. This is perfect.
No, 101 True Geordie podcast, Dizzee Rascal, mate. Honestly,
This is a dream for you.
It is like
because I think you've already told the story to you about when you went to this concert in
15
Newcastle.
years ago, just after Boy in the Corner dropped, you went on your first tour, and you went all the unis and that. You came to Newcastle Uni, and front row, screaming me heart out. I was there.
That's mad.
And to the point where Jezebel, gonorrhea, herpes, no.
Whoa.
And you go to me and I went, VT. And literally.
See, I wish that there was more phones out them times there. Because think of how much footage.
I was buzzing with that, you know. Like I went home and I was like, I did a line with Dizzee Rascal.
I was going to say. No, you won't get any more brand deals.
Like, no, that made my fucking that was my first ever gig that I ever went to.
Really?
Was you?
I think that's the first time I've ever been to Newcastle.
Probably the last as well, was it?
No way. That's always on the. If I tour, I reckon I've done. Must be at least 8 shows over the years in Newcastle.
No, my memory of that is like crystal clear. Like I remember the smoke comes out, you've got your hood on, you come out and did Sitting Here, and like it was like you did the whole album.
Did I come out sitting on the chair?
It was that sort of thing, and the audience, like, because I've been to shows since then, like where it's a huge arena, but that was so enclosed and personal. Like that was the best for that reason, because it felt like you were like in the crowd practically. Yeah. Do you ever miss doing like shows like that? I know the money's fucking great when you do those huge arenas, but it's a different feeling, I would imagine, doing that.
No, it's cool because it's all about the energy. You could have a massive crowd, and if they're not moving the way you want them to then 1,000 people going mad is just as good. Yeah. So yeah.
But Boy in the Corner for me was like the soundtrack of my teenage years, and I know you probably hear this a fuck ton, but like your frustration in that album and like how you were feeling, you just nailed it. Like you captured what everyone was thinking at that age group, like at that time. And like you were, to me it was like, I've been listening to 50 Cent, came out not long before that, and you
relating hard to that.
Like, not really. I couldn't really relate to 50, but it's
very relatable for you.
I liked In the Club
as a kid in Newcastle.
Yeah, but then
Newcastle has his it goes down in Newcastle.
Like JayZ, Nas, Tupac, all of them. But we didn't have our guy, and like you were the guy, the first one, and like that album was like, you reminded it was our Illmatic. It felt like it was like that sort of.
That's crazy. That's all. It's mad to hear that. I've heard people say that over the years, but because I was so in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And then like you're saying, I went from whatever doing pirate radio to that album coming out, winning the Mercury, still not really understand what was going on.
Yeah.
And then jump into doing tours, and then traveling, going to France, all around America, around Europe, and then sit there and do like, I've got 13 interviews to do a day and saying the same shit. So that's what my life became. So I never got to feel it like everyone else did.
Yeah, did that experience sort of pass you by, and then now you're only sort of realising it now?
In a way, and then I jumped straight into the second one.
Yeah, that came out very quick.
Yeah.
Short time.
Did you have that music ready to go, or were people like, let's get another album out quick?
No, I was on it. I've always been like that. I've never been one to be told to jump in the studio.
Right.
Just like now, I've got this EP. Been like, I jumped in myself. Like,
you seem like one of those rappers who can belt a song out after you've had a shit. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
what a song?
No, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes that it don't always happen for you. But when it happens, it's blessed. It's blessed. But you got to just try and stay in the studio.
But Boy in the Corner was like, it had so many different levels to it. Like there was conscious songs, and then there was like songs you play in a club. Like you covered everything, and I think that was why it blew people away, because it wasn't missing anything.
But I was into all the albums you talked about.
Yeah,
I came up, being a fan of the album format. So Tupac albums, like I said, Nas albums or JayZ albums. I listened to all those albums.
It seemed like an early Tupac album, like
a lot of storytelling,
because that's what I was into.
Yeah.
Like I'm the biggest Tupac fan.
Yeah.
So just like that's why you got that bit of that angst. Yeah. Or just whatever, that's bit of soulfulness, or just the anger and all that, and do you
remember like Trapped Tupac, like that, like that feeling, like when he was really
Death
young.
Around the Corner, and How Long Will They Mourn Me, and all that, Shed So Many Tears, a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, it was a real storytelling album. Those were my songs where I related to you most, like Brand New Day and stuff, and Do It. Like I was like, listen, like as if you were talking right into my head, like on the headphones when I'm walking around.
Right, I've had some mad little scenarios where show me how much it's meant to some people. Like I tell you stuff, I never really told you stuff. I was in Manchester once. I think I went there. I was with three of my friends, but we went there for Westwood was doing Pimp My Ride then.
Wow.
Can we get an impression of that?
Now, when you came in here, dog, your ride was whack, and I don't mean in a good way. Like, that's my favourite. It's close, right? I saw him buying a duvet in John Lewis not long ago.
Right.
Genuinely, I did. It was a weird. You know when you see someone doing something normal and you're like, oh my god, I love you from so many different things.
Of course.
And then you go, but you're buying a duvet, so I can't really say.
Sorry to interrupt you anyway.
Anyway,
go on. Memories, isn't it?
It's great, yeah. You make memories.
Right.
So Westwood Pimp My Ride.
So he had a party in Manchester, so we went there, yeah. And I was in there with a few people. I think Double and Footsie might have been there as well, and a bunch of other people, whatever. So we sat there, put us in the VIP, and I was with Debbie Calder as well. I remember Debbie at the time, she used to like do work with Soul Solid, manage Soul Solid, and then she ended up in Miami working with Busta Rhymes and Violator Records, whatever. So she was with me and all that as well. And then I used to have this big security dude, massive, who actually was Westwoods at one point as well. Right. So something's like we're in the VIP, and then there's a bit of commotion. I'm like, what's going on here? And then I've seen these couple boys here. They had to probably have been a bit my age or a little bit younger. So it's like a mixed race dude and a white boy, and he's just not having it. So he's security. This is his time to shine. He's not having it, and the other security, he's like 7 foot dude, like, and then they're not having it either. So I'm like, what is happening here? And then I've seen one of them pushing the gun finger at him, and that's when I'm like, I said like, wait. So gone over to him like that. Yeah. I just move. Like, come, sit down. I feel like that's what all they wanted. So I've sat there. They sat down with me like, cool. Because you just sometimes with them like security, sometimes they can get in the way. And if you're dealing with street guys, sometimes it's easy to just chat to them, and just squash it. So like, what's going on? One of them was cool, and the other one was just trying to hype a bit. Yeah, I see you got your chain. Yeah, you got your chaps, you got your chain. So what's your point? Like, what are you saying? Yeah, I'm just saying, innit? I'm just saying, like, whatever. That's my Manchester accent.
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
Perfect.
It's not bad, is it? Right. So, blah blah blah. Truth. And then eventually the other one is kind of just started getting emotional. Started to like, I remember I used to wake up every morning with my 9 in my hand, singing "Pass me skunk, pass me green, blast out till I pass out, I'm lean." And they just started making music for the white people. And then I was looking at this guy, I was like, rah. So all this, like, you just wanted to just show me that like it's all love. Like you just that's how much he cared. But there was almost a situation. So whatever, we smoothed that up. It's cool. They go. It's not till like the next day, a couple of days or something, I found out. So when they come in, they wasn't on their own. So they were with a bunch of older people. So it was almost like a setup. So that they've come, and the bouncers are telling they can't. And then one of their older people, it was told them, like, let them sort it out. And the dude's like, no, they can't. And he said, let them sort it out. He didn't listen, and he got knocked out.
Wow.
So whoever was with them knocked the bouncer out. All now, I'm not even seeing none of this. This is what's happening before they just got there. So that's how deep it was. That's how much. That's what my point is. That's how much the music means to people, innit? It's like they were ready to knock people out, and people were gonna get really hurt just so I could get near me. You know what I mean? Just to tell me that he'd been listening to me since then. There's been bag of situations where I've been like in a club or whatever, and guys have come to me to like, yo, when I was in jail, your shit got me through jail. Like, I've had a lot of that as well. That album, Boy in the Corner, especially, got a lot. Of
it was like a feeling of like, I don't know if it was what you were trying to put across, but the way I picked it up was like hopelessness. Like it was frustration and like. Yeah. No one is going to fucking listen. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
But it's also the surprise of having someone so young sort of saying those sort of things as well. I think the fact that a lot of people weren't used to hearing someone have that clarity.
How old were you again when that was written?
I was like 17, 18.
Which is...
Like intelligence is like off the charts for that age. Like,
but that comes from that sort of...
But maybe more people are intelligent at that age and people just don't notice it as well. I wouldn't rate myself, obviously, but like maybe you never know more.
No, if you actually sat and listened to the average 18-year-old, you might get a lot more out of them than you think older people would actually give them credit for.
What I'm saying, I'm not necessarily taking away from anyone else. I just think it surprised people at that time that sense of clarity, the fact you could put something which had like such a completeness to it. I think,
and I made the beats as well.
Exactly,
so that's what made it crazy. Because you produced that all
yourself.
Most of it.
Yeah.
That's fucking mental. That because I actually think that musically, I prefer Boy in the Corner to possibly Showtime, which. You probably had a lot more money to play around with for the beats, I would imagine. Like, no,
it was the same. I was using the same stuff because it literally.
What did you make it on? What did you make it on?
Those times it was just Logic. So a bunch of samples laid out in the keyboards. It's wicked because I see Timbaland say the same thing. That's how he used to do it.
Really?
He didn't learn to use the MPC, same as myself. When it got put in front of me, I couldn't do it.
It looks fun though, doesn't it? It's hard. Yeah, I've tried it. It's hard.
Yeah, I couldn't do it, but I just laid the thing out in front of me and I put a bunch of songs. It's easy, innit? So that's what I was using. But they was made on the same thing. Literally, like when I say back to back, like I came back from Napa and I made... No, the first song I recorded was Respect Me. Wonder made that beat.
That didn't come out until the second album though, did it? You didn't release that that's on Showtime, isn't it?
But I made it before Boy in the Corner came out.
Right.
Didn't you make that after you got stabbed?
That's the first thing. I came back, I'd healed a bit, and I was literally in the booth. Still, I'd taken my stitches out, but I'd taken them out, but I was still quite fresh.
Do we need to rewind and explain that?
To be honest, I'm sure you've probably explained this a fucking million times, but like the amount, I mean, I don't know if you've seen Twitter, but like the amount of questions I've had for you are like fucking insane. So, alright, so the stabbing happened how long after you released Boy in the Corner? How did you release it yet?
It was already done.
Right.
I shouldn't have been in Napa. I should have been in England for my album launch. For the launch of the album,
but you went on holiday with the lads sort of thing.
No, someone persuaded me that we should go to Napa because the booking money was good. Because when I come around, despite what people would like to think, like everything went up. Because I had my own buzz as well as being with whatever role.
I've watched some interviews where even Wiley said like you were the superstar and everyone wanted to sort of ride your coattails at that
so
point.
that's why he wanted me to go to Napa with him, and I went because at the time I didn't know what an album launch party was. As dumb as it sounds now, like didn't sound. He made Napa sound more serious, but. Whatever, this is where it is, isn't it?
The first thought that comes to my mind is how exciting is it to arrive in Napa knowing that you are the up and coming guy, the guy who's gonna.
No, from when I got there, it was a bunch of bollocks. Straight
What
away.
happened?
It just was like, I was almost took there and then just kind of just like. It was just shit, bro. Like
just
really,
ferried around,
I
like
get the vibe
it was
of, like
just-
you
yeah, it
were
was
used a little
right.
bit in that circumstance, a little bit.
If I say it, then it just looks like I'm holding on to stuff.
Right.
When the truth is, I'd rather just not even talk about any of this bollocks ever. But for some reason, people just really care about it, and I can never get to the full nitty gritty of how I feel about it without looking like I'm whinging about it, or like I'm like feeling some sort of way
I don't know,
about
like,
it.
I've had some shit things happen to me that are quite similar to what you went through,
Right.
and I think you can make your peace with the situation, but then describe it, what happened, without looking like a dick.
I know, but I shouldn't even have to look like a dick.
right.
You know what I mean? It
I don't
shouldn't
think
even
people
be
say it that way.
I don't know. You see on the internet, there's too many different kinds of people who think what they think based on what they've been told and where they got their information, and it's just I just think it's all bollocks. Like really, like just if you're really asking me what I really feel about it, it's like, listen, if I really sat down and broke it down for you, some cunt somewhere else would still say, I was there, I was around them times. Listen to me.
So you're anticipating the reaction more than like the actual story itself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just clickbait. Even now when it's like, Dizzee talks about Napa or something like that, so everyone just like the same thing. It's like, listen, even if I told the proper story, someone's gonna twist it up. It's like, it's all like,
It feels a bit pointless.
shit.
No,
Like we say,
A little bit pointless, that feeling.
well, think about it. How many times am I gonna fucking talk about this thing and not talk about it?
Right. So you just dance around the issue a little bit, don't really say it properly.
And then fucking whoever fucking Divvy Bollocks goes around just where one of his rants, because he rants and talks more.
Yeah,
He's got there's more from
the
him.
bloke with the
innit?
fucking stab wounds is usually the one telling the fucking truth, though. Like, I mean, that's my experience.
It depends. I know guys with stab wounds who are still haven't told the full truth, but
That's for
whatever.
different
That's a
reasons,
whole
right?
other- yeah.
So that was after the album release. You go. Just so for those who don't know, because like we've got
The album wasn't out. The album wasn't out yet.
Yeah,
Right.
So we got a varied audience. So the album wasn't out, but it was finished. It was ready to come out.
Yeah.
You go to Napa with some friends, people,
So-called friends. Yeah.
so-called friends. You get stabbed. Was it 6 times?
It was 6. Yeah.
And then you're in a hospital in Napa, pissed off and on drugs and pretty fucked up.
Just a bit lost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's even madder because of who took me to hospital.
Wasn't
That's
it the
what I was
guys who were friends with the guys who were involved with it, basically, sort of
So
like
they were around
associates.
together, sort of. But I knew them as well. It's just a mad situation. Just some of the characters involved in it. It is worthy of a movie. It is like you couldn't even explain it to some people. It's so far fetched, which is why sometimes I just can't be bothered.
All right, so without talking about what happened, what did you learn from that experience generally?
Don't get stabbed. It hurts.
It's great advice.
Especially don't get stabbed in some fucking foreign country you've never been to before, when you haven't really got your people around you.
How old were you when that happened?
17, 18?
Right,
maybe
so
18.
You're going through a fucking hell of a lot at that point. You're like creating a classic album, although you're not really aware of it.
I've done it already.
Just to be clear, did you know? Because looking back now, obviously with the clarity of hindsight, I knew it was going to be an amazing album from day one. Did you know what you were sitting on with that album? Like, were people gassing you about
not to the fact where we'd still be talking about it like this today.
15 years.
Right.
Yeah, and just the impact it had on people and all that. But I just put everything into it. I just I wanted to be a rapper so bad. I wanted to make like a rap album, like that rap albums I loved, and put everything into it. That was a time where any kid could be easily distracted, and I give myself credit for being so disciplined, like forcing myself to go studio. Because those times, I'm from East London and the studio was in South, so it wasn't a huge distance. It really was just through the Rotherhithe Tunnel. So,
but at your age and in your crowd, it's easy to get distracted, as you say.
Definitely. Those times, my friends who I was tight with at that time, they sold drugs,
Right.
like hard drugs.
Is that why you went south to sort of get away from that area?
No, the studio was just in South.
Right.
Even
fair
the
enough.
studios before that I used were in South.
And
as well,
would you
just
go
by
in the
chance.
studio alone, or would you be with a lot of other people?
Sometimes I take them with me, they just come with me. They were my spars. They were just about. But they were about all day because they were shotters. So that's why they were around in the day. That's the thing I was saying about earlier on with KSI. Because who's around in the day, really? That's who drug dealers become your mates, isn't it? But these just so happen to be people that I grew up with from young, who just went a bit further into what they shouldn't have been doing. Which in turn made me see it for what it was early and know that, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't care about that, or just the whole bullshit that came with it. Whatever, the lying, the snaking, people robbing each other and all whatever. Even just seeing, addicts for the properly, for the first time, like really, you'd seen them around on the estate or whatever, drunks and addicts and all that. But just how they're coming up for the drug, just the whole everything around it opened my eyes to like a world that was always there, but I didn't really know that much about it until like I was sitting next to it, like the car, they're coming up to the car asking for the bits and all that, and seeing it like wow, and then seeing how behind the scenes how much stress some of my friends were having. Really, like, yeah, you could buy all these clothes and look alright, but really just headache. So that's what made me not want to do it.
Why were they stressed? Do you think because
people trying to rob them?
Exactly.
Whatever, getting arrested, police, this, that, guy in jail. A lot of people act like jail's cool, innit? And some people don't have a good time in jail.
No,
you know what I mean?
for real.
Some of my friends at that point, they made Feltham seem cool. Like every summer they'd disappear. Like I'd try and call them, couldn't get hold of them because they were away. Like, and it made me even start thinking, am I missing out? Like for a little bit, like, I want to go Feltham. Like,
Which is kind of fucked up.
Fun,
like,
but really, the truth is, no, there was all sorts of. Everybody isn't as tough as they act like, because you go into prison, everyone's tough. Then how tough are you then, innit?
And then it's a fucking jungle then, innit?
Yeah, and then that age is almost the worst, innit? Young offenders and all that. You've got the most to prove.
You're food at that point for some of these guys.
That's a really formative time in your life as well, though, isn't it? Like that's the time
a lot was going on. Yeah. So that's what I say with the discipline. Like I just wanted to be in the studio all the time, and I'll be in there till like 6 a.m. I'll give Wiley his credit for like Wiley was always around for like Wiley and Nick Cage, all these people. So that's that side of it. Like I was like, I don't check for them thingy. But as far as my early career and how we roll together and all that, that's I know that's an important part of my.
Well, they've seen your talent, mate. It's simple
from
as
early,
that.
because I was making beats before.
You were miles ahead.
So you were a producer rapper.
You were fucking miles ahead.
On my own. Yeah, I had my own sound before I joined Roll Deep and all that.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people don't understand when they talk about grime and all that. I think there's some people that like they think that I've copied them, like where they're everyone. A lot of people's sound changed when I came around.
No, you changed the game fully,
right?
Without a doubt.
But like I said, it is where it is, isn't it? Like I said, it's hard to talk about it without fucking.
Do you worry? Yeah. Does that bother you, or is it just that you get an intimate interview and we're more bothered about the way that other people?
No, a lot
feel
of people
than
are more bothered here. But when I look at it, I always have to look outside of it. It's like, well, does John Lennon? No, is Paul McCartney tired of being asked about John Lennon? Like,
I don't know. They was talking the other day about wanking with him in the studio. So maybe
he's like that's how tired he is of being asked about it. He's got to the point where he's telling you, yeah, we had a wank. Like,
yeah. You know, so what have you got to tell us about Roll Deep?
You cunts are never gonna stop, are you? So there you go. Do anything else?
I mean, that's a definitive interview stopping story. Have you got any stories like that?
Nah, there'll never be no stories like that. It's not that. It's not that. But whatever they say, it was a different time back then on it, or maybe he's just trolling.
It feels like the way you get into, like the way you take this interview. I've never known I've done 101 of these podcasts. I've never seen anyone get as defensive as what you're being, and I'm not saying
maybe check themselves.
Just let us talk. I'm just saying, like, you're being. I can tell you've been heavily criticised in the past, and it's bothering you and I don't mean that in a cunty way, because I'm a fucking fanny and I'm saying this as a mate sort of thing. Is I can feel how like fucked off you are with the way people talk about you at this point after everything you've done. You probably feel a bit underappreciated, I'm guessing. Until
again I step outside of it. But if we're having that conversation, we're gonna go through the motions. You want the real me, that's gonna happen, innit? Because again, I can't say as much as I want to say, or I can, but then it takes up the whole interview, like it's just done.
Right.
So, and then, but like I said, when I step outside of myself, I understand, okay, I see why people want to know these things. It's the same with Titch, like, yeah, the thing on the roof, the crazy Titch, it's like,
yeah.
These are all stuff, all things to me that I didn't realise was a thing until social media got big. I was like, oh, you lot still talking about that? Rah, you care about that? Okay, well, here's this what happened, this what didn't happen. Like, but for some people it's just legendary stuff, because again, I'm not looking at it like they are. It's just my life.
And also people are looking for the sensationalist fucking title and thumbnail and all that.
No, but they get it.
But so what I'm wondering is, after hearing that story about you being surrounded by drug dealing mates and seeing the desperation
not
of
all
people,
my friends, just to put it out there, not all my friends were at that little point. That's where
there was a few though. So that's
who I was with at that time, because they were around in a day.
And did that inspire any of your writing around Boy in the Corner and like the way you were feeling?
Because I saw more stuff that maybe I shouldn't have seen. Because of how I was moving, and then some of it just through just moving around London a bit more. When knowing different people because of the music, really. I feel like the music took me around the country. There was no reason to go to Newcastle. I never knew anyone in Manchester or Liverpool. That wasn't even a thing. It's not like sometimes like Caribbean people, they might have family in Manchester and all shit, but I didn't have that. So it wasn't until it was the raves.
Those experiences, though, you can take them a number of ways. Like, those experiences can also mess up some people. Do you know what I mean? What you saw can have the opposite effect. Why do you think it had the formative effect it had?
Maybe it has a negative effect. Some stuff that I saw. Maybe there's some stuff I didn't need to see. But I just always at the end of the day, all it boils down to, I just love just making music. That's it. Like, I just always got on with that.
When you were teaching yourself basically how to write and to rap, where did all that come from? Because obviously you write your first rhyme and you're like, all right, that's pretty fun. Like, how did you go from that to being able to write some of the great stuff you ended up writing? I
think through listening to like rap music, obviously, and the garage MCs and the jungle MCs. I think they are major influence on me, because they were the thing. As far as I'm concerned, they sound like where we're from. They represented us.
Who's us in your mind?
UK. Yeah, just or the hood, whatever. But not just like my hood, or whoever was on the council estate, and whoever was in the suburbs who like to go to raves as well. Like, so.
Your motivation didn't feel like it was money at that point. It was about respect. It was about a lot more than that. It felt anyway.
Okay, yeah. So there's the second part. So I started off as a DJ, but then when I started to jump on the mic, you see the response that the MCs were getting. Like these times, I was moving with Stormin, and they were kind of cousins. Ada, so that's how I kind of knew both of them. I thought they were cousins. And I used to see the response they used to get, so I wanted to be like them, but I was just a DJ. Every now I used to jump on the mic for a joke. And then it's the youth clubs, that youth club culture of like loads of people. You had to have that energy if you got on the mic to get people's attention and that. So that becomes addicting, to get the response. So I think that's how I got better. So and that's why I never had my bars were never too crazy lyrical. They were kind of just quite smart but catchy, because the hookies, so that people could shout them.
And your voice is totally different to anything else ever, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's got this weird, like, sort of
tang kind of.
Yeah.
It's just mad hype and excited.
It caught my attention, like, because it was like nothing I'd ever heard before. Listening to American stuff and then being like, "Who's this guy?"
But you know what? I liked people like Ghostface, and loads of the people that I liked were people that were quite distinct.
Got their own sound and that.
Yeah. Even if it wasn't as high pitched as mine, like I would like Project Pat or Busta Rhymes, Ludacris, all these different characters. You know what I mean? It was about that in the 90s.
You've seen Busta and 50 have been going back and forth on Instagram.
It don't surprise me, man.
I thought they were like good friends from back in the day and that.
Maybe that's usually where it is, isn't it?
With
like,
50, there's nobody off limits, or is there?
Yeah, it's weird.
Sometimes I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe there's some people who don't rap who maybe wouldn't do that with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I noticed this
behind the scenes. Yeah, I mean, like,
so right, you're on tour. You're doing Boy in the Corner. What is it like then? You're sort of living the dream at that point. You're a very young man, being through these experiences. Is that the golden sort of the first feeling where you're like, "Fuck, I've made it"? I
guess I'll still I'll just whatever. Just dealing with all other stuff, like whatever. Just how dealing with fame. I guess to that level I had it, because it wasn't at the point where it was with Dance With Me and all that yet.
It was it like, because it's YouTube fame is different to mainstream fame, but like with YouTube fame it's like I could walk past many people in the street and no one will fucking know me, but the person who does is obsessed because it's cult. Yeah, because them times I could look and see who would recognise me then. Yeah, like they probably know who I am. They probably know who I am, even though there's probably some people who did, but I just know if a certain demographic, a certain age group that would know. Yeah. But when it got to that point, like I said, we ran Bonkers and all that time, it's anyone, old people and the old ladies, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just mad. Everyone.
When the first times I went to, when I started going to America, that's when it was mad. I remember LA especially. And the crazy thing, I went to LA before Napa. LA was the first time I left England. Wow. I went to go and shoot the Fix Up Look Sharp video in the Valley. The geezer who did that was... how am I gonna forget his name, man? But he did movies later. He made Zombieland, right? And he did some MTV programs, Big Rob and Black or whatever. But I remember going there.
That's a good show.
Yeah. And I remember going to the shop and seeing all the fitted hats on the wall and buying everything I could. I remember going to America and buying hats, trainers, and dodgy tracksuits.
His name was Ruben Fleischer.
Exactly, Ruben.
Yeah.
I remember.
He doesn't look like he directed your video, but
he did. Good job. He did that and stand up tall, if I remember. Really cool. And whatever. Just seeing America and just understanding it was a totally different beat, and over New York and LA are totally different as well. There's totally different type of vibe that just the feeling in the air, everything's different. The size of the rolls, the food, the this, that, it was just mad.
What I'm picking up from you at that time is like, at no point did you pull your head out the water to breathe. Like you were like, I'm fucking like a man on a mission sort of thing. Like I'm not. It's almost like you're scared to sort of stop and admire what you've done for fear of being like complacent or something.
Exactly. Always.
Keep working. That's on to the next song. That's
what I still know. Still know, because I just know the team goes in waves, and I never want to not be current. I guess I always want people to be enjoying my music, because I've seen money now. To be fair, I saw money then.
Different money now, but
but it just. Yeah, you can buy more. The best part of it now is being able to like really take care of people around you. Like fucking healthcare is like good healthcare is expensive. Like stuff that really matters. You know what I mean? You can afford to do it. That's the main stuff.
That's real wealth, is when someone's in trouble in it and you can change their,
just like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what it's about. The cars. How many cars you want? I buy, like, you can get them flash cars, whatever. I got a Ferrari with tints on it, so I don't even want to be seen. So what's the point? Anyway, you know what I mean? So that stuff, it doesn't matter. But if my music's popping and people like it, that always matters. That's why you get these rappers like, doesn't matter if JayZ's whatever 800 mil deep and all that. When his album comes out, he wants you to feel it.
Yeah. What? It's like it feels like a drug, like to me anyway, as like a YouTuber, like you get it's a total different style of entertainment, but like when people are loving what you're doing, there's a feeling that you get that it's not about money, it's not about anything else. It like makes you feel whole or something.
I've done this since I was a kid.
Yeah,
literally I was 14 when I was on the decks, and I was like, this is what I do. And a lot of MCs that I've grown up with, they're doing it now. Everyone from wherever gets to D double, whatever, Storming, bunch of people, even people from another side of town, whatever, like even just different guys from all over. We've kind of come up around, and some of us shot up at different times, but we've known each other for long. Like it's like a community of rappers and DJs and MCs. I could have said a lot more names in it. It's the first ones that come to mind.
So when you go back to sort of the old places that you came from, whatever, and you see the old faces, what is it like? Because you're a household name now. You're not. You've gone beyond grime and everything. You've transcended it. What is it like? How do they react to you now? Have you ever had anyone say anything of it like, you forgot where you came from or whatever?
No, but people used to fall out with friends over stuff like that. People, like, they'll say that, don't forget where you come, like, just remember where you're from. It's like, well, we're standing where I'm from. We're here right now, innit? So what more do you want from me? Like, and then some people, they just say stuff to just say stuff. And it's like, am I gonna react today? Do they want to fight? Do I want to fight? Like, what are we gonna do with this? It's just some snide comment, and it's usually some snide comments, so they can go and tell someone they said a snide comment to you. Yeah, I told him. All right, well done.
It's not always been that way, though, has it?
It has always been that way.
Is that like crab in the bucket mentality of when someone tries to get elevate themselves, elevate
it's not
themselves?
even necessarily crabs in the bucket. It's just like, well, some people, whatever, maybe they just didn't like you as much as you thought they liked you, or maybe you felt a certain way about them, and they didn't feel the same. Like maybe they were never really your mate like that. Because coming up in an age when you're from an area like an estate, usually it's because you're all piled in together anyway. So in a way, crabs in the bucket, but you just kind of hang around by default in big groups. So there might be 30 of us,
but you could be very different people within that 30. Anyway, so eventually everyone grows up. So this one fucked that one's girl. Oh, she wasn't his girl, but he thought it was his girl, or whatever. Them man are shot in now, or doing whatever. He's thanked him. He got him to rob him, or just all sorts of other just different shit going on, and then just people just outgrow each other. Like it was weird. Like maybe like 10 years ago, something, going back to the area, I'm a person that even some people they feel a way about me for whatever reason. It's usually because they haven't seen me, they're upset. Like I should just still be hanging outside the shops or something, waiting for them or whatever. What do you think about the idea that rappers like shouldn't leave where they're from? Because apparently 6ix9ine is like still living where he grew up and that. And like, do you think that's silly? Do you think that's daft? It's not even that, but even back to my point, it's like it's all good people saying that, but the amount of times I've gone home and I'm a dude, if I'm there, I will chat to everyone. Like, because I'm just one of them kids who just knew everyone. I was in his house, their house, I knew everyone. But the amount of people that like, have you seen Thingy? Nah, I don't really chat to him no more. So I was like, hang on a minute, all you lot hate each other, but you bagger, you are upset with me because of whatever. I can't see, man don't come round here. You fucking hate each other. You see each other every day. So like, all that is a myth to me. It is what it is, isn't it? It's the first time I've even talked about that kind of thing. Nah, appreciate it.
But you are supposed to move. The crazy thing now,
I fucking know I will be.
No, but the mad thing is that you come from a place like that, you move out to the suburbs, and guess where everyone from the suburbs is moving?
What is that?
To fucking Bow and Hackney and fucking Peckham and like. It's just like, well, hang on a minute. Like, what's going on? We can't even afford to fucking buy a place in Bow now.
London's fucking strange to me. Like, this is the weirdest place on earth. So what does it all mean? All that shit about repping your ends, repping your money, because you can't, whatever. You don't even like. Well, how come you let this lot just come in and just buy everything up then? So what does it all mean? It just, but obviously having love for people you grew up with. To me, I don't even feel like I need to rep that. That's just natural. To me, it's like I grew up with you. Like that's especially because I've just seen so much in the world. Like where I come from just means so much to me. So much different people. I might not be able to check for them like I would because there's hundreds of people to check for,
and then I wouldn't be getting on with my day. I know loads of new people now as well, innit?
Yeah.
All around the planet. You can't keep up with everyone all the time, and sometimes I've just got some shit going on where I just want to be left the fuck alone as well and get on with shit. So that's the way it is.
You're an introspective, like you're a thinker. Like you think a fucking lot.
Yeah.
I picked that up from your music, your interviews.
But if I didn't, it could all have been over by now. Mm-hmm. If I didn't think
you made some good decisions by the looks of it.
What was it like when you first left London and sort of realised that there were people from Newcastle?
I thought you meant like when I left, like my name moved into another house way outside. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was boring. But like talking about going and doing shows. Yeah, outside, when you
start seeing other people who you don't necessarily make. You didn't make that music for them. You were thinking of him when you were making the music.
That Newcastle crowd. Like
wicked.
Bunch of white kids, or well. It's like it's not your. Where you came from.
No, I'm from Bow. So Bow like it's mixed,
right?
So I'm from a mix. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's a big part of my music.
Really,
I grew up with white boys. Mm-hmm. I grew up with Bengali boys. I grew up with black boys. Mainly, that's the three different. We used to fight all the time. But that's how it is. Mm-hmm. Territory. Everyone's fighting for something, and then you're cool again. That's just the way it is. So when I think about like loads of white people like my music in England, then I remember England's full of white people. So yeah.
Well, at one point you made the decision to like. I don't know if it was a conscious thing, but your music changed a lot. You went did different styles, but the ones that really took off were those like Dance With Me, Bonkers. Or was that a conscious decision?
Very. Yeah, more conscious than some people. I think some people really genuinely thought like the label made me do that.
Yeah,
and it's like at that point I wasn't with. So it was the end of my record deal, end of the term with XL. So when I signed to XL, I signed for a 3-album record deal. I did all 3. They all went gold, and they were happy. And then I met Calvin Harris at a festival, and I liked in the 80s and all those tunes. And I met him. I said, "Yo, I love what you do, man." You're like, I was something like that. And then I said, like, we should do something. And I think he was a bit surprised. So tried a few things. And eventually he sent me I actually put the lyrics on the Groove Armada beat. They sent me a beat. I wrote the lyrics to Dance With Me on the Groove Armada beat.
Wow.
And then I think because me and Calvin were in contact, I think Cage manager hit up Calvin and said, I've got these lyrics, but I think they might be a bit too good for this beat. So could you come up with something? Like, not in a rude way, it just didn't fit. So he sent over the Dance With Me beat, and I remember having it. This when I lived, I remember what house I was in, and then I just remember like, oh my god, this is sick, because I like funky kind of style music, but I couldn't make it. A lot of Boy in the Corner was like, it was just my attempt at making shit that I couldn't make because I didn't know how they made it. So I was like, well, I'll do this then, and it worked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so funny.
And then
so did you know this is a classic, like banger straight away?
I didn't know it was I just knew that I couldn't turn it off, and that's usually a good sign. Like I just kept listening to the beat, then I must have recorded it. But the reason I did it, like I thought like, I want to make pop music, like or something more catchy. Happy, you have to think, from Boy in the Corner, maybe just a bit before and a bit after, was like dark times. I know everyone looks at it like it was like some cool period, like, that's his best work, but it weren't really like the greatest time for me personally.
It's like when people talk about Oasis and their first album, like they were probably going through hell when they wrote that, but like it's that the emotion is what people love.
Yeah,
to
but like
on.
I don't know what kind of like my Hills might have been a bit different from theirs. Like we're talking about fucking
quite
yeah.
But now you're in a good space. You want to make music that reflects that
because
mentally.
I feel like that's wicked. That's serious. Like that's to be able to do that. It's not. I know some people look down on pop music, but it's like it's not necessarily easy to make a good pop song and a big one that appeals to everyone. Especially when you've come off the back of doing what I'd done, which was really respectable, undergroundy, had a bit of crossover appeal. Rap albums, I guess that was at the time. Some of it was a bit too weird for some rap fans or even grime fans at the time when Boy in the Corner. It wasn't everybody's cup of tea, like the way everyone talks about it now. You know what I mean? Not everyone was feeling it like that. So, and the fact that by then I'd been touring with Justin Timberlake and also
Pharrell, wasn't it?
I jumped on stage. Yeah, Pharrell.
I remember seeing
stage
you
a few
do
times.
Lap dance verse. That was sick.
And that was in London, isn't it? It was not Coco. It was one of them places anyway where they brought me on with Will.i.am, Justin Timberlake. So I'd been exposed to all of this by now. And I'm sure by then I'd supported like Red Hot Chili Peppers before that as well.
Yeah, I've had someone message us about that.
Yeah, Nebworth.
Yeah,
massive
80,000.
Yeah, so I'd been exposed to these big crowds and all that. So I was like, I thought it was natural.
I want a bit
the
of
crazy
that.
thing. Yeah, the crazy thing was that the label I was with at the time, they weren't up for that.
Oh, they wanted like Dizzee Rascal, like
that,
as he'd been.
This is who you are. This is what you are. And I'm in my head. And then the other thing was the main thing is that they were, after my deal was up renewal, I think they were trying to offer me the same money.
Yeah.
And my head was like,
we've all been there.
Right. And it wasn't bad money, but I felt like whatever, I should have more.
Well, yeah, you've established yourself now. You've built up that following.
What is this?
Everyone knows that feeling of almost like people around you who should be caring for you, constricting what you want to do, and then you sort of want to branch out, and they're like, "No, why don't you just stay?"
No, but you know what? It's maybe protecting his brand, or maybe you just couldn't picture that. Or maybe whatever, it wouldn't have been good for him to show off to his hipster mates no more. Whether in Notting Hill or whatever, you know what I mean? Just whatever those politics. I don't know, innit? I just know that I'm not liking the money that's being offered, and there's whatever. Not a bidding war again, but other labels are interested in all that. So I got to the point where it doesn't look like anyone's going to offer me no more money. They're not really feeling this tune, and then I had the option to like do it independent. Like I said, I like the sound of that. It's like, yeah, let's do that then. Just the challenge of like, let's do it independent. Because if really, I started off like that, white labels. Started off with dub plates, giving them to DJs like Slimzy, Mac 10, Marcus Nasty, a few others, and then white labels. You go to the record shops at the time, say like Rhythm Division, Uptown, a couple of other different all across London, and then you'd have to give it to them and wait for the money back. Then and those were when I was doing like the really early grime instrumentals like Whole Go and Strings and all a bunch of other stuff that I can't remember. And again, this was with Wiley and all that as well, and Roll Deep, loads of people doing it. And then it got to the point where the tunes started becoming so popular. We could go there with our own tunes, Wiley Davies, Esky Sound. I have my own thing that I was doing as well, and they'll just give up the money up front, give them 2,000 pressed records, they give us whatever, a few grand, and we were good. So I saw it as going back to that, but on a bigger scale. So that's why I was happy to just go independent.
Well, you were tried and tested. You sell records now. This is not even disputed.
from this, and this is like 2008 where that happened, and I was selling records like that you're talking about in 2002 as a kid, really. So it's like, all right, we'll do that again. Not for the money.
Was that the same time you're doing stuff like Pirate Radio and that sort of thing, going around?
Yeah, exactly.
Because
that's where we were playing. We got our buzz on Pirate Radio. And then the raves and all that, the Sidewinders, and even earlier than that, because I feel like Sidewinder was like the last thing. I feel like the first grime raves, the people were different. But I remember Young Man Standing and Rumble, they were the ones that I remember. And then there would have been a few others in different parts of London. So like South London would have had their raves. Well, South East would have had their raves. South West would have had their raves, because everything was a bit more. Especially in that time, a lot of people were beefing, so it was a bit sticky sometimes to go to other people. And then West would have their shit, North West would have their shit, North London would have their shit, East would have their shit. But then something like Rumble Stampede will bring East and North together at a time when East and North, two areas in particular, were really going at it. So Rumble Stampede was two raves that became one, and like that was there's some early footage of that. I don't know if there's footage of me there, but there's early footage of that. So and then the Sidewinders and that came later. That's when it was a national thing. So the first time you go into Milton Keynes, that's where they used to have it, Milton Keynes.
Dangerous place.
Well, it is when you've got a bunch of whatever, Birmingham, Manchester, Liverpool, Bedford gangsters all
everywhere,
in one place,
right,
innit?
yeah.
But they come to have a good time.
Yeah.
Like,
you've talked about like some of these shows where people would like let off gunshots in the air and shit like that. That became
just
normal.
as a salute. Yeah.
How did you
I'm
feel
having
about
a good time?
Yeah, like that's still pretty crazy though to anyone from the outside who's going like, fuck guns in the first place.
Nah, but it's like, but there's been times we've been there and people have just been murdered, and you have to deal with that, I guess, without even always knowing like, oh, what was that about? Why is he dead? I don't know. Why is he dead? I don't know. Just what just happened? Didn't come here for this. You're just there and it just happened.
That sort of it got that like American early 90s vibe. Like you've kind of experienced a different era of music to what you really should have done from when you like, because that isn't normal anymore, really, is it?
No, I don't think it's as violent in the raves necessarily, but a lot of them raves are gone anyway. They were gone 10 years ago.
Probably for that reason.
There's been a little revival. Yeah, some of them would have been gone for that reason, but then some of the venues just shut down because of gentrification, because everyone's moving back into London. I mean, they need the space, the properties, or whatever else. I don't know. I've just been working in it.
So when you're making these pop records, you talk about money. Was there a part of that a motivator for you? Were you like, all right, I'm seeing Justin and Pharrell and people like that around me making serious fucking money. I believe I can.
Nah, it wasn't that. It was just like, I want to do an arena and a stadium. It wasn't the money, because I didn't feel like I could ever match their money, what they were getting at that time. And then look, I turned down money to do it by myself without knowing that even the label that I've been with for at least 5-6 years now or longer didn't have confidence in what I was doing. So
it was about
proving
something then. Really, it was about proving your point that you could be a breakout star of that world then and push yourself into mainstream.
No, not even the breakout star of that world. Just, I like this, let me just do this, but I'm not taking that money.
I love how fucking how simplified you made it there. Like, as in,
it was that simple. Like, I just wanted to do it. And these are the time. Remember, I look up to JayZ, Master P, and all these are all moguls that did that.
Well, it feels like JayZ when you look at Reasonable Doubt, and then like all the directions he took it in, and going and doing Crazy in Love, gets none of the criticism that you've been subjected to me, like, as in
maybe where he's from.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
Everyone has got their, and that's why I know you're saying like sometimes if it feels like I'm getting defensive about.
It feels like you get more shit though than people like JayZ.
It would, because you're not sitting in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Or over there in America. If you're on an American purist blog,
they're sitting there saying they want another Reasonable Doubt.
Same shit. And every other artist, I see one punk artist that broke out. She was in the punk scene, and then she had a massive tune. I don't know if it was Susie Sue or someone, and then everyone was onto her.
Yeah,
it's just the way it is. But when I step back, obviously when I'm dealing with it, I've fuck you, innit, to everyone. That's how I feel.
I've seen you kick off a few times.
Yeah, but then I'm a dude who sits and watching documentaries a lot. So it's like, it's not just me. It's not personal. It's like, that's what people do.
Yeah.
And then I sit like, oh shit, I really, really do like Snoop Dogg's old songs, his old albums. That's the way it is. Not that I hate Snoop Dogg and he's a fucking shit cunt sellout for fucking doing that song.
Eminem seems to get a lot of shit
because he's too good.
Also, people get emotionally attached to these artists and feel like Eminem had that real emotion.
Yeah, they feel like that album, like, so the Marshall Mathers LP or whatever, defined an era, and people hold on and they were like, I want to freeze you in time and I want you to always be this guy.
You can't
and
win,
just
though.
And he can win. He's definitely winning.
Do you think that they do that to you with Boy in the Corner the same way?
Yeah, some people do, but then it depends what you tune into. Like, it was almost better before social media, because like I said, half the stuff that people talk about now, I didn't know that's how they felt. I was just getting on with it.
Making the music.
Like, I didn't even know Boy in the Corner was still a thing. That sounds crazy, innit?
Yeah.
Until the Boy in the Corner show. When I was on social media, like, people kept saying Boy in the Corner, but it wasn't until I started getting on the Instagrams and the Twitters and all that, which was only a few years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know that was still a thing.
How did you feel when you found out it was?
No, part of me is a bit joy, but the other part is like, oh, fuck's sake. Like,
no, I appreciate the real, like, I want you to tell us the truth,
no,
mate.
you're fully, yeah.
Because part of me, I'm trying to compare this to if I made a good video or whatever. It's like, yeah, but what about all the new stuff you've made as well, which is an evolution of you as an artist. And in your mind, you're probably better now than you've ever been, I would imagine.
Right.
Because you've gone through all this experience, you've worked with all these good artists,
different people,
you've taken all this extra. So it's like, is that a frustration with your fans a little bit?
It is, but I always have to step outside of it.
You don't want to sound like a cunt as well.
No, I don't mind. I've learned that sometimes it's alright to just sound like a cunt, man. Because
we're putting that.
You know
on
why? Because fucking Donald Trump's the president of the world. So it doesn't matter. And I read his book years ago. No such thing as overexposure. So, but I'd just rather not look like a cunt, because I like my interactions with people when they come up to me in the street. They've got like it's easy, it's blessed, because they just like my music and there's not too much thing of me being a prat everywhere. So I try and watch what I say, innit?
I respect what you're saying. So Dance With Me goes massive.
Yeah.
Your life must have changed. Like that must have been. Did you weren't really aware of what was happening the first time? Were you more aware of this? Because it sort of blew up again, didn't it? It took you up another level. Were you more aware of that?
But you know what was good about it? It was so positive. And I explained to people that I feel like that album was my favourite for how my life went.
Was that the memories that you have of putting that album out and everything?
Just enjoyment, bruv. Even just puts a smile on my face. Just enjoyment. Everything just got better. Everything was just nice. I'd achieve like peace, I think.
Yeah.
And happiness. Like after all the dark stuff that I'd have to maneuver and that, and not worries me. Loads of people go through dark stuff and all that as well. But some of them don't have to deal with it under scrutiny in the public eye as well.
Yeah, you grew up in a public way, didn't you? Pretty
much, yeah. I'm still lucky that at least I grew up normal before it, in a way. You know, in a way, I was still very popular from when I was 16, I guess, but I wasn't famous. So I know wherever the fucking boil the kettle to whatever for hot water for the bath and whatever normal stuff. You know what I mean?
It does seem like you have like quite a healthy way of dealing with things like self-doubt or negativity in your life, and it seems like you had that quite early on, maybe through your music and things like that. Have you ever been through, because the question I was going to ask you when you were talking about Dance With Me and things like that is, did you worry about how it would be received? You don't seem to doubt yourself too much.
No, I wasn't worried about how it received, again, because it's still before social media.
And you're a creator, aren't you? At heart, like I think you live for that, don't you? Yeah, I like
funk. I think some people they don't know and understand. Like after I'm just into so much different kinds of music. I like funk, I like soul, but I couldn't make a beat like that,
right?
Because I'm not a classically trained. Calvin Harris can play. You can sit there and play anything. Oh yeah, I can't do that.
What was it like watching him for the first time in action? Were you a bit?
Our first two songs, even the song with even Bonkers. We'd never been in a studio together.
Just sent you the beat.
He sent me, and I worked on it, so I'd never even seen him work.
Didn't you? I'm sure I heard like you were on a private jet with him or what?
Yeah, he's private jet.
Is that
like with his initials on it?
What was that like?
Been on a few private jets with him.
Yeah. This was your first experience of that like level of life, was it? Or had you done that level before?
What was the first time I got on a private jet was, I think it was around those times though.
Yeah.
Guinness was having the 250th birthday celebration in Dublin. They sent me a private jet to get there, and that was like,
what a thing to be invited to.
Yeah. Again, still not understanding like the levels of it. Like, we're getting about like, this is private jet. Like, then we'd been on a few of them because sometimes it makes it easier, because if you've got a few places to be, it makes it easier to get around and all that. And it's just nice having your people them there that you don't have to queue up and do that extra shit.
When you were working with like you were supporting Justin Timberlake and working with Calvin and surrounded by all these guys, like what did you take from, like, because these are different artists, different experiences, what were you absorbing from all of that?
Just that mega setup that I still don't feel like I've reached yet. Like my team's still quite small around me. It's only now I'm with Island Records now as well, so that you've got that machine behind you and that as well. But never to like Justin Timberlake on tour is like an operation. Red Hot Chili Peppers on tour is an operation. Even Prodigy, I toured when I was younger as well.
How many people do you think they had working with them?
At least 100, innit?
Yeah.
Like it's a movement. Like they're going from place to place. There's loads of people, different jobs. But probably aside from that, and just seeing the big setups and how our show should be kind of patterned and organised, and
these guys are pros then.
So it's the top end. But then also how nice they were. I've never been on tour with anyone that was an arsehole. Every single one of them was nice. I just remember how nice Red Hot Chili Peppers were to us.
Really?
Yeah, Justin Timberlake, super nice. Everyone everyone's been nice. Robbie Williams, they were just nice people.
Robbie's a fan of the show, by the way.
He was on here, innit?
He watches every pod.
Everyone, Prodigy, super cool. Everyone was just cool.
You went on Pharrell's podcast. What's he like? Because he's an interesting dude, I think. Like,
you know what? I don't really know what he's like. You know, he's one of them dudes I bumped into a bunch of times. I've known him for a few years, but he's like, he just never like. I've been in the studio with him. It was a bit of a weird one. So we bucked up. I was in Miami, and he said, "I'll come to the studio, man. He's working with this girl. I can't remember what her name was. Yo, man, I think we can get some kind of synergy going." That's what he said. So I went to the studio, yeah, and then I was in there. He's introduced me to her, and then he said, "Yeah, man, go." So I went in and recorded the verse, did it, came out. Where's Pharrell? He's gone. So where is he? He had to go, man. So alright, cool. Can I have the CD? And no, we can't give you the music. We can't give you the music, man. We have to speak to Pharrell. So I just fucking record this shit. You're not gonna let me have my music?
Fuck me.
But afterwards, years later, I understand that because things get leaked and all that. And guess what happened? It got leaked.
Right. But it wasn't you.
Whatever. It wasn't.
That's all that matters.
It was that guy going, "We can't let you have this."
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But so just with him, I just like I've met him a few times. It's been kind of just cool, but it's not like we've had like loads of big conversation or nothing like that.
Is there anyone you did?
I was with Chad the other day, and he's cool as well. But I don't know. But what was you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, was there anyone you did have that kind of like artistic relationship with, apart from people like Calvin?
Is there anyone you've really clicked with, like in musically?
Loads of people that are loads like obviously Calvin. I really got on Robbie Williams. Went to his house in LA, chatted to him. That's why I just respect him. It's like
he's a pro, isn't he?
Come on, man. Look at the levels, man. And some people even with that, they had the cheek to like, oh, what are you doing in Junior Roll? It's like, well, he's the dude who had an £80 million record deal, and he's fucking one of the biggest artists in
British
England
history,
ever. British history ever. And he's happy to do a tune with me.
That was a good tune.
The thing is, I didn't do it the first time around. He wanted me to be on Rude Box. That's the first time he hit me up, and I wasn't ready for it then. And then I did that one there. Who else have I got in? I've got him with Prodigies, with Liam. I talked to Noel Gallagher. We've never worked with him, but I've text whatever decent dude. I've actually get on with most people. If I'm honest, anyone I don't get on with, I just kind of just stay out their way.
Right. That's quite a collaboration, though, isn't it? Like being able to just.
Armin Van Helden, of course. I've linked up with him a few times.
Okay, that's
proper conversations with him.
It must be interesting because you seem to have quite an appreciation for a lot of different styles of music. What are you listening to? Are you listening to a lot of other people's music, or is it like your own stuff?
I like a lot of the drill stuff. I just like rap music. I will always be listening to rap music. But the other day, I don't know what made me do it, but I just started listening to Kraftwerk again.
Right, like that's old school as well.
Yeah,
and
but
it influenced you as well.
Because I understand about music more through creating it and being in it so much, I now understand how far ahead were they?
Yeah.
And then I listened to a bit of Art of Noise, the first album which I never heard, and then listened to it, was like, this sounds like these guys were sampling back then. That's what this is. It sounds all weird and all kind of arty or whatever, but they're just sampling. That's what it sounds like, the first album. I think it was the first album. And then I started listening to Gary Newman. For some reason, I said, "Here in my car." I think it must have come up on the Spotify with Gary Newman. Like, Gary Newman, oh yeah, he made that Here in my car. I listened to it, drove around, listened to it. It's like, this is sick. And then just let it roll. And a bunch of his other stuff come on. I was like, rah!
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like, this sounds futuristic now. This sounds like what 2018 should sound like. Like, thinking like, rah, how ahead? This is like 30 something, more than 30 years old now, really, isn't it?
Mid-80s.
How far ahead is he? And then the tune come on, the Basement Jack sample is like, oh yeah, like, rah, he did this. Like, it's mad. It just shows you again how classic music just lives.
One thing I was interested in, you've done like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Justin Timberlake, all these people.
Yeah, all sorts of people.
That's a crazy list of people. How do you build up a relationship with the crowd for all these different kinds of people? And what are you looking for? How are you feeling before you're going out at a concert? Like, are you looking to go out there and make eye contact with people, or just play to the crowd, or what?
A bit of both. Yeah, a bit of both. Sometimes it's a bit awkward at the beginning. You don't want to make too much eye contact. You kind of just feel out the crowd. and I'd never stay in one place because I started off like that. You just be there. That's what the early MCs just.
Yeah.
Then I realised you can't just.
You move around a lot now.
Just
the stages have gotten bigger. To be fair.
Right. But every now and then you're on a little one. So you'll be some off key thing. You just do it. Just play it as much as you can, and then just give the crowd stuff to do. And just remember it's for them. I learned earlier about just rapping at the crowd. Like that's not the one. Then I'm not JayZ for me to just be rapping at you. Like interaction.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're here together type shit.
So when you've blown up to that degree now, like obviously the money's coming in at a different level than ever before. Did you get like hangers on coming out of nowhere? Did that ever happen to you? Or
yeah, it happens when you go to like when I used to go to like the West End clubs and that. You just find people that they're professional at just planting themselves next to you, and before you know it, like oh yeah, that's your mate or that's your guy. Like they're just about like it just happens. You can't. And years later, like where do I know you from again? I don't know how I know you.
Yeah,
like that happens, innit? But yeah,
did you get taken in by anyone like that, or are you good at judging the situation of like, all right, this guy's, you keep them at arm's length?
I didn't really like West End that much, so eventually you just kind of fizzled out.
At that point, then, so you're going off in that direction. Grime is still on its own path, and you're sort of watching, especially in the last few years, some of these big grime artists sort of birth, and they're all talking about Boy in the Corner started it all for like. Was it Stormzy said that as well, didn't he? Like that was his first big album that he listened to. What is it like knowing that you sort of were the beginning for all of this?
It's crazy to me. I don't know. Sometimes I don't even know how to take it.
Yeah.
It's a case of okay, yeah, I'm talented, but some of it's just be like, and good people around me, some good decisions, obviously. But some of it's just like luck. Like well, I was just born at the right time. Came up in the right time, right era. Like just could have been anyone.
You don't think about it too much, do you? I like it seems like you just sort of want to live it rather than. I
feel like if I did all that and really accepted that, I'll be a bit more of an arsehole. All the stuff that you've been telling me, I'll be on Twitter every day reminding everyone.
Yeah, Stormzy, give us them Brit Awards.
I've got one now still. Fair one. But what's it called? Like I'll just be reminding people about everything I've done and all that constantly. And sometimes I want to, if someone's trying it and it's like, no, actually this is what happened, this is what. But like I said, you might tell him that prick over there never got the message. So you will be there all day. And I should be living life, making experiences and making music.
Got to listen to your new EP, which is out right now. We'll put the link in the description below for everyone watching.
It's going off.
It seems like it's like not quite full circle, but you're coming back to your roots a bit. Is that a conscious decision?
I made beats again.
Yeah.
So that's about as close to my roots as you're gonna get in it. That is the same as Boy in the Corner.
Yeah. Well, one of the beats I was like, this could be on Boy in the Corner. Like
the one with P Money.
I think it was that one, yeah. It just had that sound, like, so if people are like a fan of that version of you, they're gonna probably love that. But like you did a track with Skepta, it just feels
that one.
It feels darker, this album, like, you know, but you're not going through that anymore. What's the reason? What's the thinking behind this album?
With this one, I just wanted to get in. It was mainly about the beats though, as well. Like I started making beats again. Got on Ableton, learned how to use it, even though my manager was trying to tell me to do it over 10 years ago and I wasn't listening. But sometimes when you pick things up for yourself, you do it. So I did it. I had so much fun recording it and doing it and working with all these people. Like call up thing, do you want to make a tune? Yeah. Well, come now then.
Really?
It's like that a lot of the time. And I love that.
Yeah.
Like, so that's how it was with CK and even with P Money. Like, yeah, come studio. Like, let's just get it done. And I love how they work, man. All of them, even with Skepta, P Money, Afronauts, we recorded the thing there. Just did it. I love that. And there's a bunch of songs that didn't make it onto that EP because
there's only five. Is there 5 tracks? Is that right?
It's 5-track EP. Yeah. But them tracks are still good, but will sound better in another format. These 5 tracks sounded good together. It's a nice, other than the Skepta tune which he produced himself, it's a nice what's the word? It just showcases my own, well, a few of my different production styles.
Yeah.
So you got Don't Gas Me, which I'd say is more like a kind of almost garagey bassline, kind of post-X days kind of skippy one. And then you've got the one, like you said, this one with P Money, which is called Spin Ya, as like dark original grime.
Yeah, fully.
Just me when I was on Pirate Radio making beats for other MC people to spit on. And then you got Quality, which might be my favourite because that's a sample from an old hardcore song by Nookie, a song called Sound of Music. And if you see the EP album cover, that would have been around the time that original song came out, and I was into Pirate Radio and like Jungle and all that then. So for me to sample that felt like almost full cycle, to be in a position to do it and make it work. Like that's a childhood song for me. That's one of the first songs that I heard of that type of style of music that made me love Jungle and all that, you know what I mean? And to sample it, do it justice, he said it's okay, I've got his blessing. And to do that meant a lot to me. And again, just for that older generation, to let me know, I do respect my elders in this. I respect all the scenes that came before me, especially in British music, you know what I mean? Even though a lot of us linked to Jamaica and all that as well, but I love hardcore, I love drum and bass, jungle, all of that. So that was a nice like salute to them. And then you got the Pattern and Vibes one again. It's just another like just happy, feel good song with a bit of a garagey kind of feel to it.
It feels like a little bit like what Kanye did recently, just dropping like going for quality, like, and that just like, all right, this is.
Do you know what? What's mad? When they did it, I was like, look at these man, they're lazy there with their 7 tunes, man. Fucking just dropping stuff, they're lazy. And then we're doing an EP. So all right then.
Less than 7.
5 tunes.
He said 7 is like a magic number or something and stuff like that. Of course he did, which is interesting.
Of course he did. You remembered it.
Yeah.
So it worked.
It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
But what got you back into making your own beats? Was it can't just be your manager being like, try this?
No, I was saying that was 10 years ago and I didn't. So I don't know. I just picked it up.
Did you get itchy fingers? Were you looking to get back into that?
No, do you know what? Because I tried it maybe 2 years ago.
Right.
There's been a few times where I've tried it and just didn't care, just didn't like it. And it was just always easier to, like, by this point I'd had so much songs with other big producers and all that, it was easy to get beats from people. But I think with the last album with Rascal, I feel like you could only go chase bigger producers, get charged more money, get given more runaround.
Yeah, I thought Rascal was a really good album, by the way.
Thank you.
I did like that a lot.
Thanks.
That was like one of my favourites that you've done for sure.
Back to just straight rap.
Yeah.
At a time where I feel like there's a lot of singing music out. Yeah. So I knew I was going against the grain. I knew that it probably wouldn't be as popping or as like big, because I knew I didn't have like the big obvious hits on it, the big sing-alongs.
But if like, you know how Eminem's done Kamikaze?
Exactly.
It reminded us a rap album. You know what I mean?
Because we like rap music. Yeah. I know I keep saying rap, but like the emphasis
That's
on rapping.
Yeah.
And then I guess this album's kind of the same in a way, but I brought back the kind of dance element, but me making it, so with my own little twisted little swag on it.
There's something quite satisfying when you listen back and you can hear like those little production quirks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Those things that you almost feel like a signature, like the way a beat's done or the way things are lined up.
Yes, almost, but going back to let me not cut you off. Say.
No, I'm just interested to know, because like, you know, when we were talking about like the Kanye album, JayZ's albums, and how you can hear those little bits that they've done themselves, like you can almost be like, that beat, that even just like a little hi-hat or something like that is Kanye's. Do you feel like you have
who knows though? I don't know. Sometimes they've got teams of people making.
But I was going to say, do you feel like you have signatures like that where people listen back and you feel like, I'll put this in and people know that was my little...
Nah, because even with people who hear this, because you got, we'll say 4, because like I said, the Money Rat, Skepta made that. Yeah. So if we talk about the other 4, they're so different from each other that it's almost like a re-education in a way. Even for myself, listening back to them, like, rah, I made that. Is kind of encouraging for me again.
Yeah.
Because I started off making beats because I couldn't get beats from nobody. So it's nice. Again, I've come full cycle again, and I'm going to keep going. There's some stuff that didn't make it there. I'll see, okay, what else can I make again? I might get bored again.
What was it like early on? I was interested when you said you were making beats for other people. What's it like? Because obviously with rap music, everyone's like, oh, you're such a good rapper. What's it like when you hear a rapper say to you, you're a good producer? Because there's something quite satisfying that you're making something they want to put their voice to.
I almost care more about hearings of someone smash it on one of my beats. Like when I hear P Money just tear up that, it's like, yeah. That's, as a producer, I feel like that's so fulfilling. Like that, I made the sound, and then once he's done it, working and editing it around him, and then the same with C Kane, because with C Kane, I was looking like, I want to put a female on here, I don't know who, so we literally sat there, looking on YouTube, like all the best female spitters around the UK, or the most popular ones, and obviously they're all good. They've all got their vibe, their wave. Some are more popular than others. Not even necessarily because they're better rappers some of the time, but just because of whatever. They're just the way they've promoted themselves is better. But when I heard C Kane, she was on, I think it was the Toddler T show, and the way she was rapping just reminded me of, like I said, On the Roof back in the day, like on Deja and that. So it's like, okay, she grew up to that. She's embodied that spirit. That is the kind of spitter I need on this beat, especially if you're even going to attempt to go after P Money. Because anything he touches, it's flawless. It's a flawless delivery. It's flawless wordplay. It's just certified, isn't it? Like, you know,
he's a
what
decent
you're getting.
footballer as well, by the way.
Yeah.
He's good at football.
He played in a YouTube football match.
Yeah.
I was commentating. He's decent.
Right.
Do you? Because some producers are quite not bossy, but like, what's the Dr. Dre documentary that's on Netflix? Defiant Ones.
I see that. Yeah.
There's a lot of talk about how Dr. Dre gives feedback to all the rappers, sort of makes them better rappers. Are you that kind of producer? Are you the kind of guy who lets someone come in, do their flow, and then you'll fit it back? Like, what's your relationship like?
He walks out and says, "I've got to go somewhere like Pharrell."
See ya.
No, but that's
See you later.
You see what I said about I understood now why I couldn't have the beat. Now I understand now why I left.
Right.
I did the same thing, but I left and came back. But I leave them to it because of MC. Me, P Money, CK, and the type of MCs and all that we are, Kano, Gets, whatever, we're the type of where if we're in a room together, where we come from is everyone wants to murk, everyone wants to be like, go hard. Sometimes that's not the right energy or tone for a song. So
that competitiveness, you mean? You want to be together rather than against each other?
No, but see, like the mood of a song. If I'm in there and you just want to show how wicked you are and all that, or I might be the same. I might just overdo it because whatever Gets is in the room and no one wants to. He needs to know I'm a spitter, and everyone feels the same way. Yeah. But that beat might not have needed that much energy, or you to be that loud and rowdy.
Like Still Dre, for example. Like Snoop Dogg is not trying to kill Dre on there, is he? He's just trying to do his thing.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like so then sometimes I just leave the room, just let them give people space. And not even just sometimes, not even just because of people trying to murk each other. Sometimes people need room to get it wrong. If you're reading from, if you're just written the lyrics and you're reading from them, you're gonna make mistakes. Like, and if other people in there, you can't be comfortable making those mistakes, and it just messes with your process.
Exactly. Especially if you've got Dizzee Rascal sitting opposite you.
No, but I'm the same. I'm the same. Like sometimes someone's there, it doesn't matter who it is. I might not want to. I just want you to hear the finished product. So just I'll give that respect to leave for an hour and a half, come back. Is it done? Yes, wicked. Like let's
I feel that same way with videos sometimes. Like I feel like sometimes you can be making a video and then someone looks in and goes, I would do this, and you'd be like, no, I've got this vibe. Like you exactly. Want to have that. We've just launched a channel together. I didn't let you see the trailer until the day it launched,
which was very fucking stressful.
And he was shitting himself. And I was shitting myself because up until the day when I showed him that, another editor had been doing it, and I was just like, I don't know what we're going to do about this. But I sat down for like 2 hours, and you were in the pub drinking, you came back, and I remember the smile you had on your face when you walked in the room. You were like, that's exactly what we wanted.
Yeah.
But it takes time to get to that point, doesn't it? Have you what's your vibe when you're in a studio? Do you work with other people and throw lyrics off them, or are you just completely just like, I'm writing this down and getting in there and doing it?
Yeah, sometimes like they might write their bars first and then I'll do it. Or then other times, so like I've done a song with Frisco and D Double. I wrote my first verse, then wrote a hook off the back of that, and then Frisco come and wrote off the back of that. So you bounce off each other. That's why I like working with other rappers,
You sound incredibly flexible, to be honest. Like you sound like
I'm just a fan of the process still. It's not always just about my ego and all that. Lyrically, you'll hear that. Obviously, I'm rating myself in my lyrics because that's what rappers do. We talk ourselves up, innit? But as far as just like, I understand that anyone who comes in, that I've picked them to work with them for a reason, and they've taken time out of whatever they're doing to come as well. Something we've never met before.
So it's respect at the end of the day, no matter what you say.
Yeah, it has to. And the place where a lot of us are coming from, respect means a lot. Respect is why, whether some people ain't here no more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Before you start an album, are you starting out with a vision, or are you literally just like, let's just get in there and...
Sometimes I just jump in. Sometimes it don't start as an album. I say it does to myself to jump in the studio, but sometimes it might start as a tune. Like that spin yard, that beat. I had that beat around the time I made Rascal. And everyone kept saying you should do something with that, but I just didn't have anything. So it's like maybe it took for me to go and get in the studio with someone like P Money, who just automatically knows exactly what to do with that beat. He's got the energy, the fire. That's what he wants, innit? For me to do. Maybe my space where I just weren't feeling it. I don't always feel my own beats enough to jump on them. Like I've got folders of beats that I've made that I don't know what to put on it.
The hunger seems like it's still there within you though, like as in some people, they get to a certain point where it just feels like they feel like they've completed it, and the reason to keep on making music isn't there as much.
Some people felt that way with JayZ for a little while, didn't they? They felt like he was just...
Yeah, when he did that 44 album or whatever it was called.
I think even before that, I remember a lot of people like, it's just not the same.
He's like dumb rich. He's doing all this extra stuff.
Beyonce's his wife.
That could still give you something to write about, I guess. But like, as far as the kind of energy you want for a rapper like JayZ, if you've heard from the beginning, is a bit of like... What's your
personal life been like and all this? Because I don't really know a lot about you as a bloke behind the scenes. You seem to keep things. Is that a deliberate thing?
Yeah, because you need to keep some for yourself. Like look how much of a mess some of the stuff that people think they know. Look how like I've twisted and thinking the stories and all that. Get some other stuff, you just have to just keep it.
In the social media world, you manage that though. That's impressive, to be fair. You must have tried hard for that.
Yeah, because I don't like social media. So it's like it's easy. Like I don't like it. Yeah. So I just do it for to show people I've got music out and then keep it at that.
Didn't you once get? This is a total random question, but like, didn't you once get blagged into trying to chat Kim Kardashian up or something like that?
Yeah.
What the fuck happened?
Yeah, I just we was at some awards. 50 Cent was there actually. We was just in some awards or whatever, and some Australian presenter trying to G'd me up to go and chat up Kim Kardashian, and I was trying to say, bruv, it's not gonna work. He said, go on mate, you're not a pussy, are ya? Fuck's sake. So then I kind of almost just got up, so just stop bullying me. So then I got up, I went over there, I sat down with her, and it went like I thought it was gonna go, but worse.
At the end of the day though, right?
What do you say?
I'll tell you now.
What you don't say is, you right?
Yeah.
That's what you don't say.
Is that do you know that firsthand now, or is that
what you said?
Is that what you said?
That's exactly what I said.
Really?
Just like I said it.
You could have gone over and done the whole thing. That guy over there says that I can't chat you up sort of vibe.
Nah, I just automatically just said, you right?
So I would give a lot to be able to say I tried to chat Kim Kardashian up and failed. That's actually like,
it's the failure that's the key bit, really.
Not
isn't
really.
it? Yeah.
That's what I figured.
Just to say I sat next to her.
Yeah. Well, you got a real I'd hate to see you around Kim Kardashian.
I don't think I should be allowed.
Not within 50 feet.
I'm going to ask you some Twitter questions
go ahead.
from your fans and fans of the podcast. All right. Fuck me, some of these aren't my questions for the record. Thoughts on mumble rap?
I like some of it.
Yeah,
I don't think they're all mumbling. I think they're from regions that you've got no kind of reference for, so it sounds like they're mumbling. But I've always liked southern rap.
Yeah, I heard that. Like that was an inspiration for you back
Major,
in the day, right?
3-6 Mafia.
Yeah.
And
Like 3-6 Mafia. Like, they were
Brings
fucking
back
sick.
Master P and all
Yeah.
all that shit. Cash Money.
So, what's your favourite festival to perform at?
I used to love Big Day Out in Australia. They don't do it anymore. Glastonbury's always good.
What was it like doing Glastonbury? That was pretty.
Which time?
Yeah.
I heard you had a bit of a complaint about the fact that they haven't asked you to headline yet. After all, you're the guy of rap over here. Like,
Yeah, they could have headlined me. I could have headlined a couple times. It's like, especially when the one where they had the gorillas filling for me, no, filling for the headliner, and you
It's
have
like-
yeah.
the Gorillas were good,
Sold a lot of records though. I get it.
Yeah,
but my thing is, who is gonna leave these people just all over the place like a festival's supposed
Smash
to be
it.
in it? Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what I do.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing. Make it hard for whoever's coming on after. That's what I've done. Those festivals especially, but. So all I said was, I didn't have a complaint. I said I can headline this, and everyone took it as like, what? Who do you think you are? I was like, you know the fuck I am, you cheeky cunt. What do you mean? Like this is not new. Are you new here? Because this is what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Even to the point where I've had to jump through hoops for guys to now just do what they want. Like there's a point of these big festivals, they made me play with a band because they couldn't get in their head like, how can your hype man and the DJ make whatever 50,000-60,000 people go mad for an hour and 20 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
So I did that, get out of the way. The stuff doesn't sound as good with live instruments, but cool, okay, we've done it now, yeah, cool, can you fuck off now? Wicked, cool, let me get back to what I was doing, then get back to the original sound of how it just sounds off the CDJs.
Did they kind of force you to use the band at Glasgow?
They kind of said they won't pay me.
Fucking hell.
Wow.
So yeah, they kind of.
I mean, that's forcing you.
Whoa, nah, mate. I don't know how many times have I done Glastonbury. I've done it like 5. So I'm not just talking about Glastonbury. I'm talking about other festivals like Reading and just whatever other big festivals where they just haven't seen the vision, and then eventually, they get it. But but I'm talking about the main stage,
Right.
Because I've been doing wherever. From the beginning, from 2003 to 2004, in some of the tents and smaller stages, but when I got to that main stage level, that's when they were like, "Oh, this is risky," because there was no one else. There wasn't no big UK rap dude on the main stage. They just knew how big it was, so they had to put it there, but they just couldn't see it doing that. So after I've done that, smashed it, then I'll just do what I want now.
Yeah.
That's it.
Why book someone? Why book you and then go?
And then tell you what to do.
That's so weird.
Because they're a festival full of people with bands or loads going on the stage. So I get it. Like
That's all they used to.
Yeah, and it's their money. So I get that as well. Like these are not things that when I say them, I'm not like fucking not upset about it. I've had to grow a bit and experience to understand why people do the things they do, innit?
Yeah.
Next one, I've got 2 questions that are like basically the opposite perspective, so I'm just sort of putting this to you. Tell him I like JRM daily, but he don't belong on there, not his best music. Get back the holiday, Bonkers, dance with me.
Well, yeah, it's kind of argue, but I don't know, but they've got me on
they've got the Skepta song on there, and that's just
on Grime Daily. I don't really on Grime, but again, I don't know with at what point of my career that person's come along.
Yeah. Well, he wants the pop songs, and we've got another guy who said the opposite, which is, why did he turn his back on grime?
Yeah, you see people say that. Yeah, you see, in my heart, I just think they're pricks.
Right.
I think they're pussy hoes. Like, what are you even talking about? Some people talking about like I'm their long lost dad that just left them or something. Like, what are you even fucking talking about? Like, this is how I really feel about it. Sometimes I try and like tone it down about, I think you're all dickheads, because what does that even mean? I turn my back on grime. Do you actually even know what fucking happened, you div? I fucking made an album that smashed it and started going around the world and touring and doing interviews and doing stuff that's what happens when you to everyone in any genre.
Exactly.
No, it's not even that evolved. You just go. You just. That's the job.
Yeah.
So then, I did that 15 years ago, So, but now you're talking about Grime's reached America, like, and you celebrating it now, but you're pissed off that I did it back then and I turned my back on. Like, which one is it?
Yeah,
that's my argument with it. What are you fucking talking about?
No, I appreciate that. Where do you see the future of the UK scene headed? Like,
hopefully closer to our France's, because France have always had 60% French music by law on the French radio.
Wow.
And even the way their Spotify is set up, it benefits French artists and French rappers, I'm sure. And
I remember a French rap I used to listen to, Soleil or something.
DJ Solar. That's way, but that's over there. That's like saying, no, I guess like Rodney P or something.
Yeah.
There's been so many. Big up Rodney P, obviously, but there's been so much after that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then France has got probably at least 6 stadium rappers.
Oh, really?
Stadium, like touring. I know the dude I worked with, Orelsan, I was just on his album. They did a stadium tour. When was that? March, all around France, stadiums. He did about 20 venues. Stade de France, and I know Stade de France because that's where I supported Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
And then he just announced another one. And so I know him. I know Booba does stadiums. There's a bunch of others that are just that big,
and we still aren't there yet, really.
Not really even on arenas.
Yeah, there's you and Stormzy, and maybe
we've done it, but not consistently. Like if I put a tour out, and I don't know if it would be an arena tour. Mm-hmm. My name's big enough, but I don't know if that. You know what I'm saying? Their things standard.
Eminem versus MGK. Did you hear MGK's response? What did you think of it?
I thought it was quite funny.
I thought it was a decent record, to be fair. I thought he made some kind of good points in that, like especially that last verse. I thought was like, you really went after him then. The
thing he said about you're 40, talking about you're gonna get trick and all that.
You sound like a bitch.
Yeah, that was funny. And then even you should look up to me. I'm 6 foot side. I thought about it. Like, oh yeah, that was a bit.
He did show
stuff.
some respect in it as well, though, which I thought was like he sort of. He come at it from a good angle. I thought, like, all right, I respect what you are, but I'm not having this. Like,
he didn't respect who he was because he started it.
Well, he shouldn't have said out about his daughter.
So yeah, he started it.
But then, if you've got a daughter, I don't know. I think what he said was she's hot. It wasn't like it was kind of disrespectful, but it wasn't like.
I don't think that's all he did.
Is that?
Yeah, there's something, but you know what, bruv? I don't even care.
Right, you know what I mean? There's the fucking answer.
But good for them. Yeah. I do think people like. I think everyone's so wet these days, man. Like, oh my God, Thingy dissed him. Did you hear what he said? It's like some fucking playground shit, man. It's like, right, he dissed him. You see, Thingy disses. It's like they're having all fucking 2-hour conversation about the diss. It's like, right.
That brings on to the next question.
Yeah.
What's your current situation with Wiley? Obviously, I don't know. The last time you tweeted was like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, shit like that.
I didn't say I'm gonna fucking kill you. I said one day you're gonna push me too far and I'm gonna kill you.
Right.
There's a difference. Yeah.
Has there anything happened since then, like in terms of the relationship, or is that it from there?
What? There is no relationship. That's what people just can't get their heads around. There's no relationship. You lot made this feud. Like for years I was just minding my business and you just keep bringing up this same fucking shit. Then he goes and have his dumb rants and then in the paper is this the feud, the beef. You lot call everything beef, man. Just shut the fuck up. How about that? That's how I feel.
Anything beef?
Huh?
Do you call stuff beef?
Everyone calls it beef and feuds. It's all bollocks. I'm tired of asking me something else.
People love drama, basically.
Yeah,
they don't love drama when it comes to their doorstep.
Yeah,
so they love other people's drama.
Everyone just shut
it's
up,
like comedy. It's funny when it's happening to someone else.
I don't give a fuck.
Biggest non-rap influences. So you got any favourite like people left field?
Oh, loads. Boxers. I love boxing. Now you put me on a spot. Who can I think of?
Any like people you've really looked up to as a kid, like sort of thing, who weren't rappers?
When I was younger, I really looked up to Daniel Shittu. He was a footballer. I don't know who he plays for now.
Daniel Shittu.
Fucking remember that
played
name.
For Millwall. Played for Nigeria.
Played in the Premier League.
Because his last name was
it might have been
different.
Yeah, it's Nigerian. Yeah, so him. Like as far as really looked up to him because he was from my area.
Wow.
As far as someone local, and then wow, Bruce Lee, just shit like that. Yeah,
fair one. What do you think of talent shows like X Factor?
Everything's got its place. Everything's got because what X Factor just kind of replaced stars in their eyes in a way, innit? Back in the day, yeah.
But Stars in Their Eyes is just so much better than X Factor. Like, I don't know. Like, imagine being able.
Was it really?
Yeah, like there's something. It used to be hilarious. So it's not X Factor. X Factor. No one on Stars in Their Eyes ever cries. Like that's what's good about Stars in Their Eyes. You go on there and you get to just put a wig on and be like someone else for 20 minutes. Some people are stuck in that thing for like 2 years after X Factor. It must be terrible. Horrible life for those people.
I hear you.
Who do you? Fuck me, this is a wild one. Who do you think killed Biggie and Pac? Any theories?
It's too much mix up, man. So that's a tough one, man. I've heard different versions, but I don't know, man.
There was I asked Robbie Williams about you, but I emailed him saying like, you got anything that you think would be good to like bring up or whatever. He's like, I can't think of anything right now, but there's one little thing that Dizzee used to get a little bit of flack for Illuminati symbolism in pictures or something like that. Like, did that actually happen?
There was a little period. There was a little phase where some people, they just couldn't understand that I worked really hard and it happened to me. So they've just thought, whatever.
He signed up.
Yeah. People don't say it as much now.
Illuminati mammoth, people like soon.
Yeah, because it's the Boy in the Corner cover. Where I'm doing all that. And I think at the time, if you actually see, I think we took like 50 different shots.
Yeah, there's loads, wasn't there?
Yeah, and that's the one that was made. I think I was just pointing up, but it wasn't like no devilish. But I remember being in a restaurant, and the dude actually come up to me, like sat down and started asking me, "Yo, what was that about? What did you really sign up with the Illuminati?" And started talking about shit. I'm trying to eat my curry goat, and this geezer was like really sitting talking about this Illuminati stuff. Some people, they really bought into that and believe. They just feel like they don't understand that I put in mad hours in the studio, like till 6-7 in the morning.
For the record, if the Illuminati want to approach me and make me rich, I'm happy with that. We can make that happen.
Chilling. You can
get rich without them.
Stonecutters.
That's the other thing. People don't know. Like, I'm confused. What you talk about, the Freemasons or what even is it? I don't know what it is.
Stonecutters is the Simpsons one.
But the Freemasons.
If it weren't for music, where do you think you'd be right now?
I can't even. I've never really wanted to do anything other than that. Maybe athletics when I was younger. I like running and that.
Decent boxer, maybe.
I don't think so. Like I could do enough to just hang in there with a good boxer, but what they really have to put themselves through, like I don't want that for my life.
Right. One of the last ones. What advice would you give yourself at 16 years old if you could?
None. Really? I'm genuinely alright with it. Like everything has led me to this point where we're sitting around here with this big table.
It's a lovely table.
Great table. Just having there's worse things to be doing. On what is it? Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
We could be stuck in the office, isn't it?
Last question from me, mate. How would you like to be remembered?
Forever.
Good answer. I like that.
Right,
really appreciate you coming on, mate.
Literally,
you're a fucking idol.
Sorry it took so long, man.
Nah, it means a lot.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Respect, man.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
If everyone wants to check his new EP out, I'll put the link in the description below. You can buy that on iTunes everywhere.
Gas me.
It's all happening. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.
Fuck off.